Hey folks, it's King from Stay Tuned Sports, and I gotta tell you, I love energy drinks. They help give me that boost that I need to finish all my work, get through game film recaps from all of Sunday's games, and they provide that pick-me-up during a very long week. What I don't love is that crash and the jitters, the gross feeling you get with most other energy drinks. And that's why I tried Dubby, and I gotta tell you, Dubby is a game changer with flavors like Dragonade, Beach and Peach, Galaxy Grenade, and my personal favorite, the Dub Sludge. You can find your favorite or just get them all. There's no jitters, there's no crash because there's no sugar in Dubby. Plus, Dubby contains Neurofactor, an all-natural ingredient derived from coffee cherries, which has been linked to enhance brain function. You go on over to dubby.gg right now. That's dubby.gg to grab the best energy drink you've ever had. And if you enter the code STSports18 in all caps, you'll get 10% off your order. That's STSports18 to get 10% off of Dubby. Be better.
And hello there, all you stay tuned. Hey, listen, it might be the Eagles. I hate the Eagles. Don't get me wrong here. First quarter, keep it even. Second quarter, start running the fucking ball. Third quarter, take a power nap. Fourth quarter, oh shit, there's the rest of the game. Let's go.
Fuck it, I'm a diabetic. I will root for the team that will literally give me diabetes and death. Rooting for a team from Hershey is like a Catholic rooting for Satan. It doesn't make any sense.
This is Stay Tuned Sports, and it starts in 3, 2, 1.
And hello there, all you Stay Tuners. Welcome back to another episode of Stay Tuned Sports. It's your good friend Jimbo here, back with our buddy King, and hopefully better internet.
We made it, buddy. The long national nightmare is finally over. We're here after so long.
I think I saw something on Twitter that was like 200 days ago is when the countdown started.
It's football season, man. Well, it's kind of a yearly tradition now, seeing for anybody who pays attention to the Pat McAfee show, seeing Boston Connor from their show, always in the off season, starting after the Super Bowl, he'll put down a countdown until the NFL starts again. And here we are. We're recording this one day before the NFL starts. You're going to be hearing this on NFL Day, debut day, Lions versus Chiefs. And we made it, man. It's one of those things like you want to, it's exciting. I'm jacked for it. I'm very pumped, but it's also that just like that, it's like relief. It's a little bit just relief that we've made it and we're here now, and we're ready to just, we're ready to get through it now. We're ready to go. We're every week now. Now it's every week, every day. There's going to be some kind of football news, something to talk about, something to preview, something to review. We don't have to try to grasp at, well, what happened in baseball, or what would did you know the Women's World Cup was on? We don't have to worry about any of that. We don't have to worry about trying to make NASCAR seem interesting. I know I just alienated a lot of the little bit of the fan base that we have, but I'm just saying we don't have to worry about that anymore. Hey, curling's on. Don't care. Football's here. We got football, and then also we hit into hockey, and then basketball. I know for some people that's going to start. Like this is the fall and winter. To me, is always better. One, because fuck the sun. And fuck the heat where it's 92 degrees out right now.
Exactly.
That is part of my ass. So we get the cooler temperatures and just all the sports, just all of them. And of course, top dog being that the NFL. And so we made it. That's all. We made it, man.
I'm just really happy, obviously because NFL's back. Philly, plays this Sunday. I forgot that they opened up their season with the Patriots. I thought it was the Vikings, but it must be flip-flopped. And then, Notre Dame football, listen, I didn't see the Navy game, and, I'm sure we'll talk about this a little bit, but our quarterback, Harmon, dude, he looks freaking great. The only small thing I will say, and it's the only time I'll say it, Baltimore Orioles, 3.5 game lead in the division. Don't know when the last time it happened. Now we could go on to the NFL.
That's right. Yeah, no, but I mean, baseball for anybody who's a fan of any of the New York teams has been over since July, so that doesn't really matter. But and that's the other thing when it comes to Notre Dame is I know that their two opponents haven't been exactly powerhouses, and I get that. But a problem that Notre Dame has had in the last couple of years, maybe even last decade, I'd say, is a tendency to play down to opponents at times. Having opponents who are lesser or seem to be lesser, either go against Notre Dame, come into Notre Dame, what have you, and be competitive, and in some cases win. Navy beat Notre Dame a couple times in the last decade.
Yeah.
So like it's that's been a worrying trend. So if they see Notre Dame go up against the quote unquote cupcakes and handle the business the way they should handle the business, the way you expect them to, like if they were any other team, like if who did we play this week? Tennessee State.
Yeah, this past week was Tennessee State.
You know, like if you saw Tennessee State go into Alabama and Alabama wins 53-3 or 53-6, whatever the score was, you'd be like, yeah, all right, expected that. You know, and so to see that Notre Dame do that and have that and not have it be like a 34-26 game where it's like, yeah, Notre Dame won, but why the fuck was it that close? You know, or the one a couple of years ago where we lost to Akron at home. Like you know that shouldn't be happening. So we have NC State next, which is, I think, a test because NC State is not great, but they're ACC, they're a major conference for now.
Yeah,
and they always seem to give fits too, especially to Notre Dame. NC State's always one of those. Man, I get a little iffy when Notre Dame has to play them. So we play them next, and we have, I believe, there's another cupcake on the schedule. I forget exactly who it is. But that one is before Ohio State. So that one actually worries me. Yeah. I'm afraid of Notre Dame maybe overlooking them and looking to Ohio State. And that's when trouble happens. I don't want them, that obviously to happen. So we got two more games until the big one with Ohio State coming into South Bend. Excited for that to see what happens there. But I got to tell you something. This might have been one of, if not the most exciting week ones of college football.
Oh my God, yeah.
I've ever witnessed. What a fucking weekend of football. It just feels so good to be back. College football, pro football's here. It's just, we made it, buddy. I know I'm going to say that also. I'm just saying it all show, but we made it, man. And I'll tell you what, it started right off the bat with Colorado TCU. I wanted to see that game. I wanted to watch it just to see. I want to see, how Deion does. How does it start? Are they competitive? To begin with, because everybody was, and that's the other thing too. Everybody was picking TCU. I didn't get that.
Yeah,
like I like Deion. I think he's a good coach, and they brought in a lot of talent. Like everybody kept on saying, well, Colorado was 1-11 last year. There's almost nobody left on that team that was part of that 1-11 team. It's a completely new team.
Oh yeah.
So, and I know people were like, well, these are all the Division II kids or HBCU kids and things like that. So they were kind of downplaying, I guess that's saying, like these were second tier kids that weren't good enough to be D1. That they just took a lot of D2 talent and brought them up. But knowing Deion and knowing that, I figured even if they lost, they would be competitive. That was my feeling with it. Like a lot of people said it was going to be a blowout. The TCU was a 27-point favorite or something.
Yeah.
Or 22 something. They were in the 20s, over 20-point favorites. It's like, I didn't see that. I didn't get that. And almost from the jump, you saw, that no, Colorado was going to stick around. They were going to play. They were going to be competitive. They were more than competitive. They fucking beat TCU. And now people were making the excuse, well, TCU lost a lot of players. They're not the same team that made it to the national championship game. We know they got their ass kicked in the national championship game. And they made it. They beat Michigan and what have you. It still was the number 17 team ranked. Again, preseason rankings, I think, don't mean shit in college football, but they were. And again, they were the team coming off of a national, even with losing their starting quarterback and losing key pieces and things like that. On paper, you had every expert saying, well, TCU is going to mop the floor of Colorado. And then after the game saying, well, TCU didn't have everybody there. Well, you can't have it both ways. You can't say TCU is going to kill this team. And then when they lose, say, well, they were missing pieces. You can't do that. Fuck off. But I mean, what a way to start off fucking college football weekend right there. With having that, not only did you get Deion's debut, but he won, and then of course Deion's going to Deion.
I loved his post game conference.
He had he had a good one.
The media asking him the questions, and he's like, "Wait, hold on. Basically, did you think I was going to lose?" And I heard the one guy say, "Oh, I don't know what you're talking about." And Deion's like, "I read your article." I was like,
"Do you believe? Do you believe?" And he's like, I'm just asking the question. He's like, well, you just answered it right there. You didn't believe. You don't believe. I believe. I believe in Eli.
And how about his son, the starting quarterback, the stats he put up?
I will tell you what, man. That kid, say what you want about anything like that, of whether or not he was, Deion was playing nepotism, or, he's always starting with his son. Fuck off, man. Kid could play. You saw he was dropping fucking dimes.
Yeah.
He missed a couple throws that were just off, but would have been giant fucking plays, which even Deion mentioned. And like Deion had mentioned in one of the press conferences, maybe the day after, where somebody was bringing up the question about they were saying, or it might have been the day before. Sorry. Where they were talking about, well, Shedeur is obviously the starting quarterback, and what's the status with the backups? And before the reporter was done, Deion was like, well, what do you mean? Like, the way you said that is like, of course he's going to be the quarterback because he's my son. He's like, that's not the case. He's like, you forget that I don't play favorites. I don't do that. He's like, I benched my son for the entire championship game at Jackson State because he was 5 minutes late for a meeting.
Yeah.
He's like, I hold everybody to the same rules and same accountability. And so that's not the case. It's like, just the fact of the matter is he's the best quarterback on the fucking squad. And if you watch the game that they played against TCU, the kid's a good fucking quarterback. What do you want?
Yeah.
he fucking is. That wide receiver / cornerback two-way player they fucking have. I don't know why the name has escaped me. I should have it.
His last name's Hunter.
But my fucking God, dude, if that kid, like the talent level that is on Colorado now, I think this was a wake-up call to everybody who said, Colorado they were 1-11, and they brought in so many transfers, and that's never good. And there's a bunch of D1, D2, or FCS kids, or HBCU kids, or kids that weren't considered to be D1. The talent level's there. Now here's the thing. Again, there's a lot of transfers. This is the first time a lot of teams are getting to see Shedeur. A lot of teams, first time they're getting to see Colorado and the players they have and the plays they have and getting them on film. So as the season goes on, will teams start to figure them out? Will it not be as a stunning turnaround? Are they going to win 6 games? Can they make a bowl game? That's going to be up in the air. I think that still is up in the air, but you couldn't ask for a better start.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be honest, they probably beat Nebraska this week because Nebraska's fucking booty cheeks. So, I can't, Colorado's is here. They put their footprint down. They put everybody on notice that they're not the Buffaloes of the last 20 plus years. They're not an easy win. There's not something that you can just mark down, that they are going to be a problem, and to the point where they're not just going to give you a problem. They can beat you if you're not ready. Yeah. So if you're a top level team, like if you're USC playing Colorado, you can't just look past them now. Now you have to play them, and they're going to give you all that they can give you, and they can pull out some wins here. So we'll see what happens in the future with that. But I'm excited to see that.
If they keep playing how they played against TCU, no matter who they're playing against, at what point do you start saying maybe they could be a playoff team? Because they weren't ranked.
It depends. It depends on who, if they're able to keep winning. If they, because again, like I said, now they're going to start having Colorado on tape. Now you're going to have teams that actually be able to prepare for Shador. You're going to have people able to prepare for the schemes that they have. You're going to have people able to prepare and know what's going. Anytime you have film on players, on a team, on how they run, how they operate their offense, how they run their defense, things like that, it becomes more difficult. That being said, I think Deion is a good enough coach to coach around that, to have things in his back pocket ready to go. I mean, I think it's clear now to people that Deion takes coaching very seriously.
Yeah.
This is not some thing he's doing for, like, this is not Prime doing, something. This is Deion.
Yeah.
Being a coach. He's about that life. He's about this. So with that in mind, I here's the thing. I'll say this. The Pac-12 this year may be the best it's ever been in my lifetime of seeing the Pac-10 or Pac-12, which is a shame because it's its last year of existence.
Which is funny because all the teams went undefeated this week.
That's what I mean. It's like USC is good. Utah, good. Oregon State getting DJ Ugalagalele Gadingando. I'm sorry, that was inappropriate. I think there's probably a little bit racist. People are going to get mad at me. But it's DJ Ugalagalele. I honestly can't.
Just stop. You're making it worse.
DJ.
There we go.
The transfer from Clemson. He was a show. He showed out this week. Washington is good. Like the Pac-12 actually's got some teams. So if Colorado can run through the Pac-12 this year, if they can win games, I don't know if they can lose a game. Maybe if they lose to like Southern Cal, but like if they continue to win, I think you have to put it in there, especially with the level of competition they'll have in the Pac-12 this year.
Yeah.
I think if you get an undefeated Pac-12 team by the end of the year, they're going to be in the college football playoff. Who that is, I don't know. But I think if you get an undefeated Pac-12 team that gets everything, wins the Pac-12 championship, I think they get into the college football playoff. No questions asked. I think you can have a one-loss Pac-12 team get in there too. It might get a little bit more dicey depending on what happens with the SEC or the Big Ten, and how the voters always work with that. But I'm not going to sit here and say that Colorado is a playoff team or that they are or that they can be. I'll say if everything falls right for them and they go undefeated, I think clearly, but I think I would say that about almost any team in a major conference, even with the Pac-12 not going to be in a conference next year. For this year, we have to look at it as this year, just in this window. The Pac-12 is one of the stronger conferences, if not arguably the strongest conference right now after week one.
Yeah.
In the nation right now. It really is. And by strongest, I mean the amount of teams in there that I think are actually really good. Because you talk about, the SEC. Well, you have Georgia, and Georgia could probably beat the Arizona Cardinals right now.
Let's be honest. A high school from Bayonne could beat the Cardinals right now.
That's not too far. That's not too far from that. But like we again, it's early. It's early, so I'm not going to go that far. I do find it funny that you already have fucking talking heads talking about, well, is Deion ready to go to the NFL? Is he going to be a top NFL coach prospect next year? It's like, what the? It's one fucking week.
Yeah. I always say
like, it's amazing.
I always say you gotta give it at least the first 4 weeks of college season, and then I think by that point you know who's who or who's close to being who. You know, Colorado could lose the next 3 games, and then they're back to the square one of, well, they're the 1-11 team that we thought they were.
I find it well, and that's it. We don't know. Again, I don't think. Here's the thing: Colorado's not going to be 1-11. I think. Pardon me. If I'm going to put a any kind of prediction or hot take or that's a spicy meatball, whatever. I think they get bowl eligible this year. I think they win at least 6 games.
Yeah, I could agree to that.
I will put that much out there. And even for some, a lot think that that's a little too much for Colorado, especially now after 1 week. But looking at some of the games they have and some of the other teams they play outside of the very good Pac-12 teams, I think when they play some of the very good Pac-12 teams, those are going to be some losses, possibly. But I think they have 6 wins. Looking at the talent level that they have just in the TCU game, and you got to see, wow, they have talent. They have ability. That roster isn't, rejects or what it was like people were trying to say they were. Like, it's not just a transfer portal nobodies. Like, these are legitimately talented individuals, And I think people kind of overlooked that too with Shador because he was his son. So they were just like, oh, he gave the starting job to his son because it's his son. No, kid can fucking play.
Yeah.
So taking that on to mind, if you're going to put a gun to my head and say, make a prediction about Colorado, I think they get 6 wins. I think they get bowl eligible. Can they do more? Sure. Can they fuck it up and not get to 6 wins? Can they only win 5 or 4 games? That's also another possibility if they end up fucking up. But yeah, it's a long season. We have to see what goes. But I'll put that out there and say that I think Colorado makes a bowl game. I think, and that's the thing. If they become bowl eligible, they're going to a bowl game because someone's going to want to get Deion in a bowl game. So that's the bottom line. But talking about the Pac-12 and talking about DJ Uiagalelei, I think I don't know. I apologize for fucking that name up as bad as I do. Boy, it seemed like he wasn't the issue in Clemson. Now was he?
Oh man, I totally forgot about to watch the Clemson Duke game, and was at work. The one guy came up to me. He's like, "Hey, did you see Duke beat Clemson last night?" I'm like, "Are you fucking serious?" He's like, "Yeah." No. Now he didn't even tell me the score. And I saw the score. I was like, you got to be shitting me.
Duke didn't beat Clemson. Duke fucking routed Clemson. Yeah. Like, it was an embarrassment. The fucking Dukies out there fucking doing it. That was so great and so fun to watch. Seeing Dabo be a bitch on the sidelines. Fuck you, Dabo. The only one I hate more than Dabo is Brian Kelly. And we'll get to that in a moment.
We will.
But what an absolute game. A couple of dogs there in Duke. Their head coach, a Jersey boy. Yeah. Here we go, Jersey represent. Just absolute dominance from Duke, which I think surprised a lot of people. Again, there was a lot of surprise this weekend. A lot of people were surprised by Colorado. The Duke game against Clemson obviously surprised a lot of people. And again, Clemson went from ranked 9th in the preseason poll to being ranked 25th in the latest poll that came out. And the only reason I think they're 25th is because their name is Clemson.
Yeah, no, I agree with that.
Because they honestly, after that performance, they should not be in the top 25 at all. At all.
And the thing is, Duke isn't ranked now, right? Like they didn't.
Yeah, they are.
Oh, they got to the top 25?
Yes, okay. I believe they are 20th. Hold on, let me see here. Let me look at the AP poll real quick.
You see, while you're looking that up, like, people gotta realize, like, Duke is not the Duke team from 10, 15 years ago. Like, and I mean, they're not national championship team, but they've had some good teams over the past decade.
Yes, Duke is ranked 21.
Okay.
Well, they've been bad the last year. They were good at 9-4. The last 2 years before this new coach came in, they were bad. I think they hadn't won in the AC. They went 2 years without winning a game in the ACC. I think before last year. So, and last year I think they only won 1 or 2 or that. But they made strides last year. I think they were 9-4 last year, or 9. Was it 9-3, 9-4?
Yeah, I know they said they had.
I can't remember exactly. So don't hold me to that. But yeah, Duke ranked 21 right now. Colorado, who we just talked about, they went from unranked to ranked 22nd, which for Colorado to be ranked at all, like in the last 20 years, is a fucking accomplishment. Like that's what we have we have at the bottom Clemson, which I don't believe should be there. They have the ones who almost made it was Iowa, UCLA, Arkansas, TCU still got a couple of votes, which was incredible. But man, I would have put almost anybody in there over Clemson, because they just looked outmatched and outclassed by Duke of all teams. Which, by the way, the entrance for Duke before the game,
yeah.
Dude, fucking goosebumps, like fucking chills. Like the fucking lights are going. They got
really?
flames. They have like this big, like like wrought iron gate that kind of looks like the university gates, like you'd walk through.
Okay.
And they open it up, and the flames coming out. The fucking music. The lights are all circling around the top of the stage. Like, dude, it was fireworks were going off in the end zone. Like it was fucking sweet. Like, I'm like, oh man, I gotta go see a Duke game, a night Duke game. I gotta get down there. That looks fun. So you have Tulane at 24. Tulane, I love, maybe my favorite mascot, the Green Wave little logo guy. Love that guy. Texas A&M 23, Colorado 22, Duke 21, Ole Miss 20, Wisconsin at 19, Oklahoma, who put 80 something or 70 something up on some poor team. They're at 18, North Carolina. Big win over South Carolina this week. They're at 17. Oregon State, who we talked about with DJ Uiagalelei. God, I'm gonna keep pronouncing it wrong. I can't help myself. I'm sorry. I'm not doing it on purpose.
No, he's not. Usually it's me.
I am the whitest guy from fucking Bayonne, New Jersey. It's just what's going to come out. I'm sorry. You're lucky I'm not calling them gabagool. You have Kansas State at 15, LSU at 14, which we'll get to that in a second. Oregon, they're the ones who put 80 something on some, I think Portland State, and Puddles the Duck was fucking passed out with 530 something push-ups. Like, wouldn't be me. Utah, with their very impressive win over Florida, they're at 12. Texas at 11. Notre Dame, Fighting Irish at number 10, baby, up 3 spots. For 2 impressive wins. Granted, they were over lesser opponents. I get that. But the fact that Notre Dame is doing it and not playing down to their opponent, I think means something. So Notre Dame at 10, Tennessee at 9, Washington at 8. Penn State with a good win over West Virginia. It took them a while to kind of put West Virginia away there, but they did win. They were at number 7. USC at 6. Ohio State drops 2 spots to number 5. Florida State up 4 spots to number 4. We'll get to that in a minute. Alabama, number 3. Michigan, number 2. And, of course, Georgia, who played, I think, UT Martin. And if you don't know what that is, you're not the only one. They remain at number 1. So, as we mentioned, we were going to get to it in a little bit. The Florida State Seminoles versus the LSU Fighting Tigers. At a neutral site, quote unquote neutral site in Orlando. It was mostly Seminole fans, let's be honest. It was a rematch of last year's game at the New Orleans Superdome, which, as we all know, was a great game, barn burner, back and forth. LSU comes all the way back. They score a miracle touchdown because they had to get the onside kick or something. They got it, came all the way back, scored the touchdown, kicked the extra point to go into overtime, and they missed the extra point. And they ended up losing the game. With a fantastic game, close game. Honestly, you couldn't lose by any more than that. A 1-point loss. Truly incredible. So you're figuring rematch this year. hopefully expecting the same thing. Good back and forth. A lot of people thought LSU was better this year, so it might be a little bit more towards their favor, but it seemed like it was a pretty good even matchup like last year. And at halftime, LSU was up 17-14. It was setting up to be that kind of back and forth game that we had last year. It was looking good. Like, man, this is all right, exciting game. Excited for this. Let's go. And then the second half happened.
I think Florida State.
God.
I think Florida State saw the papers of what douchebag said, how he was going to beat the brakes off of Florida State.
Going to beat the hell out of Florida State because it's about family. I'm going to take my family. We're going to go beat those Seminoles from Florida State because I love family.
In that fake Southern accent.
Right. You're both the Nate. Yeah. So, but my God, I have not seen a second half drubbing like that. LSU got a garbage time fucking touchdown with like a minute 17 left or something after Florida State had put in all their freshmen, basically. Outside of that, that was the only points they scored in the second half. They got the doors fucking blown off them by Florida State. And I got to tell you, couldn't happen to a nicer guy. I want everybody to know out there and make sure that you never forget that Brian Kelly killed a kid. Just want to put that out. I want to make sure that that's out there. Nobody ever forgets Brian Kelly killed a kid.
Was that recent? Oh wait, that was the Notre Dame practice or something?
That was a Notre Dame kid. Yeah, the practice. He put the kid up in the high winds in a scissor lift. What could go wrong? Oh, what could go wrong by putting somebody up really high on an unstable platform in super windy conditions? What could possibly go wrong, Brian? What could possibly go wrong? Fucking Brian. If anybody gets that reference, we can be friends. But yeah, so Brian Kelly killed the kid. And on top of that, the way he left Notre Dame, the way he kind of talked to the students, or then didn't tell the students and saying he's not going anywhere. And then he leaves by, I think, what he texted a few of them or some of them in a group chat and just like, I'm gone, guys. See you later. Like,
yeah, I don't even think he had to sit down with them. I think the AD.
He never had to sit down with them. He never talked to him.
Yeah.
From what I remember reading is that it was through a text message.
Yeah.
And that a lot of them ended up finding out through like Twitter and through the press release that he had left. And on top of that, being like one of the most unlikable people anyway, even before he went to Notre Dame, like he was unlikable with Cincinnati. And he kind of did the same thing when he took the Notre Dame job with Cincinnati. And I'm going to be honest, we as Notre Dame fans, we overlooked a lot when it came to Brian Kelly because Notre Dame was playing well.
Yeah.
And when it's your favorite team, you kind of do that. You overlook the faults of people. Did we know Brian Kelly was an absolute douchebag? Absolutely. Did we sit there and kind of defend him with some shit? Absolutely we did, because he was Notre Dame at the time.
I will say there was a couple of years I want him fired, and you talked me off the edge.
Yes, you did. And I remember that. And so, I mean, I don't know, does that make me the asshole? I don't know.
Kind of, because then we start winning and I came back off the edge.
it's not that, like, it's not the case like we didn't know Brian Kelly was an asshole. We knew he was an asshole, but he was our asshole. As it was, It was kind of hard to defend the kid killing. That one was kind of one we just ignored and didn't, like, when everybody says, Brian Kelly killed the kid, it was like, we did pretty well this year, though. We got 11 wins. We got like 4 or 5 years of 10 straight wins. Pretty good. Ignore the dead kid. Ignore the dead kid.
Sweep it underneath the carpet.
But then after he kind of did all that, and it was like, you kind of got freed from the burden of having to defend the asshole, and then you could just be like with everybody else and be like, ha. All right. Now, it's almost like when you break up with a toxic ex, and then it's like, let me tell you in every way how you're toxic and terrible first. I've had one of those. That's what it was like. So, I mean, you can call us out for it and say we're hypocrites and doing that, and that's fine. You're justified in doing that. And here's the thing. I'm not defending us in that aspect. This is me telling you, I understand where we were. I understand that we defended him because he simply was wearing the ND. And, he was the Irish head coach. And while he was our coach, we had limited success. We made it to the playoffs twice, got a fucking brakes beat off us twice, made it to the national championship game once, got the brakes fucking beat off us once by Alabama. Yes, Jimbo, that game is over.
I lasted 55 minutes before I gave up on the game.
Dude, we got so drunk that
Yeah,
it was just so terrible. I got so drunk, I think I saw Manti Te'o's girlfriend.
I was just going to say.
Which is not fair. That's not fair. After seeing the documentary, after seeing the Untold, it's not fair to say that. And seeing what had happened, what had happened was, that's unfair. And I think everybody truly does owe Manti Te'o an apology for the way they talked about him and made him a meme and everything. That being said,
I wanted to watch the documentary, but I couldn't see it.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Just don't do that.
Oh, it's football season.
Anyway, we were super drunk that night simply because Alabama beat the fucking brakes off us. So at the end of the day, it was like, we had limited success with Brian Kelly. We were doing well and all that stuff. So you overlooked it. Like, listen, when the Baltimore Ravens were winning Super Bowls and were always winning divisions and we're top, people overlooked the fact that Ray Lewis killed a man in 2000. People overlook that stuff. You tend to overlook the faults of people that are either on your side, on your team, doing well for you, things of that nature. So that's just, I think that's a natural human response. Like you go out there, you see communists defending Joseph Stalin. Why? Well, because they're stupid communists. It's what they do. Anyway, that's kind of how it was. But now that he is who he is, and it's like, okay, now we can actually say, like, no, we always thought he was an asshole, and he was an asshole, and he did kill a kid. And everybody recognizes what, I mean, here's the thing. Like, if he did what he did with Cincinnati to go to Notre Dame, and if that was like the one-off where he did, shit like that and just kind of left.
Yeah.
But with Notre Dame, maybe he did it differently. And, people could be like, well, he learned from what he did and maybe he's better that. But when he does the same thing, and he did the same thing to Notre Dame that he did at Cincinnati, to go to LSU, and it's like, okay, guy's an asshole. So to see him lose the opening game, his first 2 years at LSU. Now, again, he did very well after the first game loss last year at LSU. He may do the same thing this year. I don't know. But the difference is the last game last year, that it was a very close loss.
Yeah.
In which then it was like, okay, that was a fluke. It was a tight game. A missed extra point caused it, and whatever. This one was no fluke. This one was, you got the fucking brakes beat off you. How are you going to respond to that? Especially with you playing in the SEC. And you're going to have to go up against some kind of talent. I'm not talking about fucking Vanderbilt or Missouri or anything. But it's just, it makes me happy to say. It makes me happy to see that LSU might suck, and they'll suck with Brian Kelly. And you know what? You reap what you sow, and you get what you pay for, LSU. And a lot of people tried to tell you, and you tried to tell us to shut up because you're family. Well, enjoy your family. I hope nobody in your family kills a kid.
Jesus Christ. I'm trying not to laugh at it.
If there's a hurricane down there, if Baton Rouge gets a hurricane and he puts a kid up in the scissor lift, don't be fucking surprised. Is all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. I'm saying if you do have like a AV co-ed or something that goes to LSU, and you got football practice, and there's a tropical storm or hurricane that comes rolling through the Gulf, which they often do. Maybe ask them to visit home that week, or just keep them away from the football program, because Brian Kelly will most likely put them in a scissor lift and kill them.
Brian Kelly's gonna be like, hey, I need a lead bulb change for up there. Dad?
Fuck you.
But I mean, as far as college football, though, like how we said in the beginning with this, the weekend, I mean, the bar is set high now for the NFL to top it. I mean, so much excitement coming out of this weekend because of college football. Now we got news coming out of San Fran.
That was breaking right before
we
started the show. which again, this usually happens after we fucking start the show.
So many times.
And it's like, fuck, we could have talked about this when it's done, after we're done recording. But yeah, we got breaking news out of the Bay Area, San Francisco, one of the big holdouts there. That would be one. This is Joseph Bosa, correct? This is Joey Bosa.
No, this is Nick Bosa.
No, this is Joey.
Who's the douchebag?
Oh, is it Nick? Is it Nick Bosa?
Yeah,
or is it
Nick Bosa is
which
San
one is
Fran, and Joey's the douchebag.
Oh, well, they're both douchebags, but
Joey's
Joey's the one in San Diego, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I did fuck that up. I tend to do that. It's okay. Yes, you're right. Nicholas Bosa. It is Nicholas Bosa from. I forget. Well, I should remember it because my fiance loves fucking Nick Bosa's arm.
His arms.
She doesn't like Joey Bosa's arm. She loves Nick Bosa's arm. She's like that's her NFL dream crush. If she happens to run across him, I'm just out of luck. I'll see you in a couple hours, kind of situation. Listen. After he gets his contract, if I get cucked, at least I can get a couple $1 million, right? Decent proposal style. Let's go here. But anyway, yes, 49ers defensive end Nick Bosa has agreed to terms on is that 5 or 6? What is that? 5-year, $170 million contract extension, becoming the highest paid defensive player in the NFL. From Ian Rappaport, that is where the report comes from. So the 49ers, before their first game against Pittsburgh, get their most important defensive player back, which is huge.
Yeah, it is. And
I think it puts them right back on the path for being the NFC favorite. That they're not having this holdout. It's not going to drag into the season. He's not going to miss a game. We're right here. San Francisco is, as we speak, complete now, roster wise. So,
and you know what?
Dangerous.
Looking down the road, like not this year, but into next year. I mean, obviously, football is just starting, so we don't want to, jump ahead too quick. I want to see how the Niners are going to pay all these players. I saw the list of players that they pay next year.
I did too. I pulled that up. Where is that? Hold on. I got to see if I can find that here.
While you're looking for it, like I remember Debo's on there for 20-some mil. Like they're all, I think the lowest paid guy on that list was like 12 or 13 million. And that was only, I think, 8 or 9 players compared to the other 50-some that they have on the roster.
Second, I'm looking this up here because there is a list.
I remember seeing on Twitter. I forget who posted it though.
Yeah, I can't seem to find it now. I think I lost it. Because it said something like they have the highest paid defensive player now in Nick Bosa. They have the highest paid running back in McCaffrey, highest paid fullback in Juszczyk, the third highest paid tight end in Kittle. And I believe there was someone else up there that's one of the highest paid players in the NFL as well. So, okay, here we go. Okay, the 49ers currently have the highest paid defensive end, Nick Bosa, highest paid running back, Christian McCaffrey, highest paid fullback, Kyle Juszczyk, the third highest paid tight end, George Kittle. So I said all those. The third highest paid left tackle in Trent Williams, the third highest paid linebacker in Fred Warner, the sixth highest paid defensive tackle in Javon Hargrave, and the seventh highest paid wide receiver in Deebo Samuel. That's a lot of fucking money.
And that's just, what was that, like 8 to 10 players?
Meanwhile, quarterback Brock Purdy makes $934,000. That's how you're able to do that. If
he balls out this year, he won't be making that next year.
You got fucking Mr. Irrelevant there, fucking as your quarterback, and that kind of works out when you can do that.
So obviously, this move here with that that type of money going to Nick Bosa, that's a win this year, or we're all getting fired next year.
This is the Niners saying we have to win this year.
Yeah.
And The Niners ownership seems to be very comfortable, though, with John Lynch as the GM and with Kyle Shanahan as the coach. And here's the thing: the Niners are in it every year. They do pay a lot of money, and they have a lot of talent. And I know a lot of people are going to point to the fact that they swung and whiffed hard on Trey Lance. But my feeling on draft picks is they don't fucking matter. So the fact that they traded away a bunch of, 4 draft picks, a couple of first rounders, some other like high draft picks, I don't give a shit. And you know why that doesn't matter? Because the 49ers are usually so good every year that their first round draft picks are late in the fucking first round anyway. So it doesn't matter. And you can see how good they are because Brock Purdy is fucking their starting quarterback now, and that fucker wasn't picked up until the fucking 7th round or whatever it was.
I mean, he still has to prove himself.
He has to play a full season. He has to play full season. He has to not get injured, but he obviously has it there, and he's good enough to have beaten out Sam Darnold and Trey Lance. Now, you might say,
Come on now.
I could beat out Sam Darnold and Trey Lance, and maybe that's the case. But, you had a lot of people saying that Trey Lance should be a good quarterback. He could be the starter and anything like that. And people saying that Sam Darnold in the right system, and Kyle Shanahan has a QB system. I think it's the right system for anybody. Could play well enough. And, I mean, clearly beat out Trey Lance as the number 2 so much that they fucking got rid of him. I think, here's what I say. I think the fact that the Cowboys gave up a 4th-round pick to get Trey Lance is a far worse move than the 49ers giving up 4 draft picks to move up in the draft to pick Trey Lance. Yeah. That's my take on that. I think because when they went to get Trey Lance, it was kind of a gamble. It was. And everybody knew it at the time. Kid had a ton of upside. He had raw physical ability, raw talent, but he really hadn't played enough. He had played, I think, 20 games his entire life, and he didn't play his entire last year of college because of COVID. So, like, there really wasn't, there wasn't a lot there to go on as far as that goes. But, clearly the raw talent was there, and a lot of teams were interested in wanting to get him, clearly. So that was a move. It was a gamble, and gambles don't always pay off. Didn't pay off in this case. But now we know what fucking Trey Lance is, and the Cowboys still gave up a fucking 4th-round pick for him. So you want to talk about what a bad pick is or what a bad deal is? I think the Cowboys trading for Trey Lance is a far worse deal and a far worse move managerially. Man, I can't speak today. I got a case of the Jimbos here.
I was going to say.
That's a worse case of it's a worse deal than the Niners going ahead and making the move to try to draft them in the first place. Personally, that's my take on it. I know Cowboy fans are going to bit this and scream, you just hate the Cowboys. I do hate the Cowboys, but that's also, let's be honest, that was I think there's a bad move. That's a bad deal, especially when Dak is already, neurotic and coming off his worst year, and he seems to have the weight of the world on his shoulders. And then you just go ahead and you draft for this kid. And then, of course, Jerry talking about, man, wish we could have gotten Jalen Hurts. Really wanted to get that kid. It's like, well, that's what I mean. Like everybody's still picking the Cowboys to finish at least 2nd in the NFC East. I'm like, that Cowboys team is a sneeze away from falling apart. They are a sneeze away from falling apart, man. I don't get it. I don't see it. Anyway, moving back here to the Bosa deal, I got a question for you here now. Okay. And this might happen during the show or maybe right after the show. How, in your opinion, Mr. Jimbo, does this Nick Bosa deal influence the Chris Jones situation in Kansas City? They're playing tomorrow. Chris Jones is still holding out. He is in Kansas City. Last I saw, he was doing some kind of a food outreach at a McDonald's in the Kansas City area. But what do you see, like, is this going to be the catalyst where he's going to say, okay, I want this, but a little bit more? Is this what we're going to look at here? Does this help him out? Does this hurt him? Does Kansas City say we're not going to pay you that money? Because a lot of people saying that Chris Jones needs to be there. Like, the Chiefs are not going to not have Chris Jones play for them. But we're getting to the point now where if he, like, even if he signs today, can he play tomorrow? I don't know.
Well, what I saw, that a reporter or something asked him, basically that question: if you sign today, can you play tomorrow? And he said he's in playing shape. He's ready to go.
I saw he said that he could play, like he's ready to play.
Yeah.
But
as far as the contract, here's the thing I'll say. Before Nick Bosa signed this contract, I think it was yesterday I saw one of the NFL reporters say it, Rappaport or the other guy that messed up Tom Brady's retirement. Schefter.
Yes.
They said that there was plenty of GMs around the league that said if San Fran doesn't pay Nick what he wants, they have more room than San Fran to pay Nick Bosa. So if the GMs were willing to do this for Nick Bosa, and I'm not saying Chris Jones is a better player, but he's a D tackle that had 15 and a half sacks last year. That's pretty unheard of for a defense tackle. You hear defense tackle, you think he's just a run stopper, sucks up bodies, that's it. He's going to get paid. And if KC doesn't want him playing for a different team, they're going to have to pony up. I think he'll get more than Nick, though. Not much more, but I think he will get more.
Does he get paid, or does Kansas City trade him?
I don't think they trade him.
Do they say, like, we can't pay that?
Because I just don't think
the one person's in the team kind of situation and move off him.
Yeah, I don't think KC trades him because their asking price for him is going to be so high. It's probably going to be higher than what Jonathan Taylor's asking price from the Colts. So I don't think they'll be able to trade him. It's going to be one of those, either pay him or release him.
But at some point, here's the thing too. Like, if he's just going to hold out and continue to hold out, then you're still not getting anything from him. So if you're not going to get anything from him, and he won't take the deal that you're offering, and that's the highest you're going to go, and he still says no, like, you have to look, like, that's what I mean. We don't know what Kansas City's willing to go to. We don't know if they're going to be willing to eat that, if they're willing to do that.
This Kansas City thing, honestly, I could see it going to the point of whatever game of the season is that he has to be back, so that way he doesn't lose this year of eligibility or whatever it is.
What if they're doing this? If I hate to interject here, but what if they're doing this? What if they're waiting to see how they play the Lions tomorrow or tonight as you're listening to this? What if they're waiting to see how they play the Lions? Like, if they beat the Lions, the defense looks good and they're able to get back there to Goff and they're able to stop them and they win pretty handily over the Lions, are they going to be like, well, see, you're good. You're a great player, but we don't need you exactly. We can play against a good team here in the NFL. We can still compete without you. Or the opposite way, if they play the Lions and the Lions beat them at home on opening night, and maybe they don't just beat them, maybe they run all over them.
Yeah.
Maybe they're just, the run game is just, you can't stop them. The defensive front is completely gone. Then they're like, all right, we'll pay that man whatever he wants. Just pay him because we obviously fucking need him. Like, what if they're using the game against the Lions as a litmus test of either we need him desperately or we can win without him. I mean, he can hold out, or he can come in and play for the amount that we're going to give him.
If that's the case, I mean, that's a huge gamble they're willing to do because, let's just say the Lions. And you know what? I could see the Lions winning tomorrow night now with Kelce being out. Because Patrick
Mahomes...
Absolutely,
with the whole Kelce injury and Chris Jones not being out.
Yeah.
I absolutely.
So
1,000%. Actually, that's a little spoiler for later on, but I've actually picked the Lions to beat Kansas City. Just putting it out there right now. Shh. Sneak peek for you, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, yeah. Like I think it's more than possible, especially now with the Kelce injury, that Detroit can win. Yeah.
And if the Lions even just beat them, not like beat the shit out of them, just beat them.
You don't have to beat the brakes off them, no. But if the Lions win, that's a big thing. Now, again, Kansas City is notorious for starting slow every season. That's kind of their thing. I get that. But on opening night, it's the banner, it's the trophy, it's the fireworks, the celebration, and all of that. You want to start off the season with a win. You want to start it off looking like the Super Bowl champion that you are and the contender that you have been for the last 5 years. You have to win that game. Yeah. You have to win that game. So, and this is what I mean, though, is Kansas City, is the Kansas City front office willing to sacrifice a game to kind of use as a litmus test to see, well, whether either we do or we don't need Chris Jones.
The thing is, if they lose, they could come to Chris Jones and be like, all right, we'll pay you what you want. If I'm Chris Jones, I'm like, hold up 1 second here. You just shown that you need me, so I want more now. Because he knows.
Well, he already wants to be. I think he wants to be the highest paid.
Yeah.
So now, then at that point, then if they do, but then here's the other thing too. Then if you do that, and then if you try to up it, then it's going to be well. Then what do we do? Because here's the other thing too. Kansas City is going to eventually have to fucking rework Patrick Mahomes' contract because his contract now. What are we now? 2 or 3 years since he made when he first did it, it was like the 10-year, $500 million. Guy's making $500 million. Oh my God, this is great. Now you look at his deal now per year, and it's like not up to snuff with some of the other quarterbacks out there. So he's going to want to bump. Probably waiting to see what the Joey Burrow contract's going to be, which I'm surprised that hasn't been done yet. But once that happens and that goes down, like how much money is Kansas City going to have? And maybe that's another reason that's coming into this is like, well, I want this money, but Kansas City's like, we're holding like a certain amount back for Patrick.
Yeah.
So like we literally can't do this. And if you're going to make us choose between Chris Jones and Patrick Mahomes, Chris Jones is going to lose that argument every time.
Well, yeah.
That's just how it is too. So again, it's a lot to figure out. We don't know exactly what the Kansas City GM Veach there is thinking. We don't know what the Kansas City front office is thinking. We don't know if that's their thought process. If they're trying to worry about Mahomes along with Chris Jones, if they're trying to, like I said, do the litmus test with the game against the Lions and see if they do need him or not, or how the defense works without him, or something like that. If they want to, see if they can get something for him on value through the trade market or anything of that nature. We don't know. This is just pure speculation.
Oh yeah.
But you don't sign the guy, and as of this recording, you're less than a day away from fucking playing. What else can we do? Like there's things going on now, and now with Joey Bosa having signed, Chris Jones is
Bosa,
biggest holdout. I think he's obviously. I think he's a better player than fucking Jonathan Taylor anyway. So that's an interest. It's an interesting thing going into the season, and which we already have a lot of great storylines happening. Jonathan Taylor being one of them. This now being one. The Bosa thing being done.
Peyton Manning, Eli, Peyton and Eli holding third host auditions.
I love that. That was a kudos, a fantastic bit. Well done. My favorite, honestly, probably my favorite part was fucking Jim Irsay in the waiting room just telling random shit. That was by far, I think, the best part of that entire bit.
I liked Tyson. I liked Mike Tyson.
Tyson was good. Tyson was good.
Reese Witherspoon. If we have to pick a non-football player,
cameo was good. Well, they had a couple of different ones. They had that TikTok chick.
Yeah, I was wondering who that was.
I think that's the LSU girl, the LSU gymnast who's also big on.
Oh, okay.
And she's like, I can't go to class because I'm so hot and everybody knows me on TikTok. So I can't go there. So I have to do all my classes online. And it's like, yeah. And then also she's part of a controversy because people are pissed off because she's getting like a big, name and image likeness deals. And they're like, she's only getting it because she's pretty. And it's like, yeah, welcome to the fucking world. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what happens. If I looked like Brad Pitt, you think I'd be fucking poor as shit where I was like a computer that didn't work? No, buddy. I'd find a way to somehow be cute and making money. That happens. When you're cute and beautiful, life is a little bit easier. Just is. Hate to break that to you, ugly girls. Even if you're fat and ugly, it's pretty. Ask Lizzo's backup dancers. It's still not great.
Come on, man.
I know that situation is bananas.
Oh Jesus. You're on fire today. You realize that?
Oh baby, and Fuego. Here we go.
Talking about dead kids and bananas and
dead kids, bananas, cats and dogs living together. Mass hysteria.
Jesus. Oh,
it's good. Dude, it's football. Come on. It's football season.
It is.
Baby. Let's go. We got to be top 4. Here we go. Training camp's over for us now, too. It's real life. This is live now. This is we're in it. We're in it. We're in the thick of it now, man. We are in the thick of it now.
We're in the trenches.
We're in it. This ain't preseason no more. These games count. So we got to be ready. You got to be sharp, ready to go. And got to be sharp, man. And here we are. I'm sharp, ready to go. Sharp as a tack.
So before we unveil our surprise here, what's your feelings about the Giants game this weekend? Scared, nervous, easy game?
I'm confident.
Okay.
I'm not overly confident. I'm not pessimistic. I'm not like I don't think the Cowboys are going to blow us out. I don't think the Giants are going to blow them out. I don't think it's going to be anything yet, but I am confident. I like our team. I like our defense. I love Daniel Jones. I love our no-name wide receiving core. I even liked them last year, even before everybody just got fucking hurt. Every fucking buddy got hurt.
I saw a list today.
Isaiah Hodgins kid. I love him.
I saw a list today of the starters from last year with your wide receivers compared to who is starting this year.
Yeah.
The only other than Hodges, because when Hodges came onto the scene last year, I actually liked him too. But the only other receiver I noticed from last year was Slayton.
Yeah, and he got hurt.
Yeah,
he got hurt early on.
Shit.
So that's what I mean. Is like, so we have some of that, but we have Saquon. I'm excited to see how we do, and it's a good way to start off. It's a good test right off the start. You have the Cowboys, who have a great defense. They have amazing offensive weapons. You have Dak, who's in a kind of a prove it situation with the Cowboys now, again, which is dangerous. And Dak has been a giant killer. Dak has beaten the Giants 10 straight games.
I saw that.
We haven't beaten Dak since 2016. So, but again, that's not this Giants team. And that's what I mean is like, this is not the Giants team that has been around for the last couple seasons, last fucking 5 years, whatever it is, 5-6 years. So I'm excited to see what happens. I kind of like the fact that the Giants are backseat attention-wise to the Jets right now. Usually this is a Giants town. Usually, everything is Giants. Jets are the secondary team. But when you get Aaron Rodgers and you have the talent and the expectations now that the Jets do, you're going to have that. And that's the thing. The Jets now have an expectation to be an AFC contender, if not a Super Bowl contender.
Yeah.
People are debating whether the Giants will make the playoffs or not. I like it like that. Let it be that way. And we'll see. The Giants' schedule is, I think it can be a little harder than it was last year, but I also think we have some spots where we can put a run together of pretty good games. And then late in the year, we have those 2 games in 3 weeks against the Eagles. That's going to be a fucking gauntlet.
Yeah.
And we'll see how that goes. But we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Right now, we'll see how we do on Sunday night. And to your question, how are you feeling about the Eagles and their defense of the NFC Championship and how they've built themselves since the Super Bowl, how they've put this team together, and where do you think they stand?
Well, I'm excited, for them. I think our defense, I'm very excited and confident with our defense. I can't wait to see how Baby Rhino does, Jalen Carter. Everything I've been reading about him, I saw a couple snaps of him during preseason. I'm just curious if Jalen Hurts could still get a little bit better than last year. I mean, obviously he was good last year, but can he keep getting better? He's saying all the right things. He's,
Well, he has all the tools in front of him. He has a great offensive line.
Yeah.
He has a fantastic weapon core, running backs, receivers. That he has the entire national championship Georgia defense on the other side of the ball.
The only part of the team that I'm nervous is our running back room. I really think we dropped the ball with the Jonathan Taylor. Having a chance to trade for him and get a decent running back. I'm not, I think the running backs we have, Boston Scott, I'm always going to like him just because he's a giant killer.
He is a fucking giant killer. I hate that midget bastard. I know you're not supposed to say midget, but fuck him.
But I think our running backs are the big question mark of this team.
Okay, I'll save this just from the start. We don't have to look through all the games of the season or like that, but Eagles record, end of the year, when that final game with the Giants concludes, what is the Eagles record after Week 18?
All right, so let's see. We play each other total of six games, right, for the division?
Division is 6 games, 2 against the Giants. Yeah, you would play the Giants twice, Commanders twice, and Cowboys twice.
I could still see us getting 11 to 12 wins because Washington, I think we could sweep. Dallas, we always split. And I'm going to go on a limb here and say that we're going to split with you guys. I don't think it's going to be as easy as it has been in the past. So I could see us doing still 11-12 win. I don't think we're being number 1 seed. I think we'll win the division, though. Barely.
You think that's San Francisco, huh?
San
Francisco gets the number 1 seed?
I'm going to say San Fran right now before the season starts. But if Brock Purdy is not the Purdy from last year, they're going nowhere.
Well, we'll find out. They're playing the Steelers, and the Steelers' defense is. So we don't about the Steelers or their offense, which I think Kenny Pickett is a lot better than a lot of people think for some reason. I think he's good, and plus that Pickett to Pickens hookup is going to be fantastic for that Steelers offense. And like I said, that Steelers defense led by T.J. Watt is as good as any in the league.
Yeah.
So I think you're going to find out in Week 1 how good the Niners and Brock Purdy is, and how Brock Purdy and that offense can play against a top flight NFL defense this year. And I think we'll get a good gauge on that.
Just hopefully Pittsburgh.
I think as long as Purdy stays healthy, I think the Niners are probably the number 1 seed. But again, anything can happen. The NFL seasons are weird, man. Anything can happen. Listen, the Giants made the playoffs last year and won a game. Who the fuck saw that at this time last year? Yeah. I didn't. That's for sure.
Yeah, but they also lost a game in the playoffs. Who did they lose to? I forget. Football's back. Football's back. Football's back.
Really fucking good. My fiance's sister, Rob, she loves the fact that here we are in football season again, because whenever the football game is on, fucking me and you just are, because we were in a group chat together with a lot of people who we do picks with, and we just blow her fucking phone up every Sunday. And she loves it. Not for anything in particular, just how much you fuck with me is what she loves. She loves the fact that you, and my own sister too. So I have a future sister-in-law and my very own blood sister love the fact that you fuck with me and push my buttons, which I feel betrayed, honestly. by these people. They're supposed to be on my side,
Yeah, like
and they're laughing at me because of what you fucking do. I think it's bullshit.
maybe I should, reiterate to them about how we became friends, how I was going to kick your ass over a Giants game.
Or let's change that. How you were going to attempt to kick my ass.
All I had to do was step on your foot.
Never had a shot.
Step on your foot, watch you fall in a ditch, as long as the beer's okay.
The beer was fine. The beer made it. That's all anybody needs to know. The beer made it. So as for me, I'll say this. I give the Giants 10 wins. I give the Giants 10 wins. Is that enough to make the playoffs this year in the NFC? I don't know. But I give the Giants I get 10-7. I think the Giants it will be the Giants record. And I honestly think the NFC East can get 3 teams in the playoffs again. And not necessarily the Cowboys.
I agree with that.
I think we can get 3 teams in, and the Cowboys may not be one of them. Shocker. Who would that other team be? I think it's going to be a surprise team out there. Just saying, team maybe lifted a little weight off their shoulders, feeling a little bit better, not as toxic at the top. Just saying. Use your imagination. Wonder who I'm talking about.
Who are you talking about?
Just a team that might have a new command of the situation.
The Washington
football team of Redskin Commanders.
It's been a couple.
It's the first one of the year. I love it.
It's been a couple episodes.
I haven't said that since the end of the regular season. I think. I love that because to me that's who they are now. Until they actually pick a better name, a better permanent name, they are the Washington football team of Redskin Commanders, and they always will be. Anyway. What else we got? We got something else? We got something cool?
Well, we got a little surprise / announcement, I guess.
But we got a surprise. This might be new for me. I don't know. What do we got an announcement for? What are we doing? Man. I'm getting old. I just turned 42. I have a bad fucking heart. I think probably. I don't know. I should probably go to a doctor. What are you surprising me with here, Jimbo?
So, for all past listeners and even new listeners, we used to do what we used to call the blue picks: blowout, loss, and upset, or lock, upset. We're not doing that this year. We're gonna switch it up and just do straight picks with the points. And here's the little twist to it: we're only gonna announce 3 of our picks on the podcast here, and then put a video together of the rest of our picks over on our YouTube. So if you guys want to see the rest of our picks, you just head over to our YouTube channel, ST Sports.
Let's go. Look at that. That's promotion. That's called self-promotion, ladies and gentlemen. And that's what we're doing right now. So that's it. We're going to go ahead. We're going to pick 3 games from the NFL slate this week that we like, that we're confident with. We're going to go ahead and pick. And then on top of that, if you want to get the whole slate, the rundown of all 16 games, we'll have that video for you over on our YouTube channel. We have the link for that on some of our platforms. I think we have it up on a Twitter platform. We have it there. We'll also post it there for you to go and see on Twitter, Facebook. We'll put a link out there on Instagram as well. Well, you can't link to Instagram, but we can put it in the bio. You know how it goes. Instagram, first of all, get on it. Can you put fucking links in the posts? Fucking Zuckerberg. But yeah, so I'm excited. I'm excited to do this. I'm excited to see how it goes. We're going to have the points there. Again, remember, this is for entertainment purposes.
I was going to say, I would suggest do not use our advice.
if you heard our picks from last year, I would say definitely don't fucking use our picks. That would be definitely something to go there. But with that in mind, Jimbo, if we're going to start us off here, what's going to be your first? What's the first game you're popping a cherry on the 2023 season here for us? Misogynist, how dare I say such a thing? Anyway, popping a cherry here on the 2023 season. What is going to be your first pick? I
would say we both should do the Detroit Kansas City game, since
I think so.
Everybody's listening Thursday.
I think it's only right.
Yeah,
I think it's only right. I agree with you on that. So if we're looking at this currently, The Detroit Lions against Kansas City Chiefs. Kansas City is a 5.5-point favorite as we stand right now. 5.5 points. They're playing at Kansas City. Jimbo, Detroit Lions at Kansas City Chiefs. Who you got?
I know they say don't pick against him or them until they show you to pick against them, but I'm picking against them. I'm taking Detroit. I just think with Kelce definitely being out, who's their wide receivers? Like they don't have.
I think Kadarius Toney is questionable as well, which is a fucking shock.
Yes, Chris Jones is not going to be there. Their defense may be able to keep it close, but I just think it's going to be too much for Patrick Mahomes. Now, with that being said, he's probably going to put up 50 points now.
Here's the thing. Again, we're picking points here, so I'm gonna go with the dog here and pick the Cats. I am picking Detroit again. They're getting 5.5 points. I think even if they lose, it's going to be a field goal game, something around there. Like they're not going to lose by much, and I honestly think they might win outright.
Yeah.
The money line is currently plus 194 there for the Lions. It's minus 235 there for the Chiefs on the money line there. So if you want to do outright, that's what you're looking at. But with the points, I'll take the Lions and I'll take the points. I'll tell you what, yeah, fuck it. I'll do outright too. I'd pick the Lions to win outright.
I could see them winning outright and also, winning by 6 points. I agree. I think it's going to be a closer game than what some people thought. Before the Kelce thing, I mean, not on the show, just in our little private messages or whatever, I said that I felt like this was going to be a blowout.
Me too. I feel like I've had this conversation with my dad, with a couple of the people that we have in our picks group. It just feels like this is, as much as this is Kansas City's opening night to celebrate the Super Bowl, this feels like Detroit's coming out party.
Yeah.
This feels like it's set up for them to put a foot down and be like, we're not the same old Lions. We're not, this is, we're here to contend. And I think, now again, can this be all wrong? Can they shrink in the spotlight and may they get blown out? I think absolutely, but I don't think that's going to happen. I think if you're feeling iffy about it, I say take Detroit with the points. I'm going to pick them outright with the plus 194 money line. I'm taking the Lions.
All right.
All right, Jimbo, what's your number 2 game there?
So let's see. So we're not going to just go down a list, right? We're just going to
No. I think pick 3 games that you're confident about. So we did the one, which is opening night, which I think was only fair. I think that's probably good that we both did that. But what's going to be your second game?
I'm going to go with the Baltimore Ravens and Houston Texans. So Houston Texans are obviously the underdog. They're a plus 10.
Points.
Baltimore Ravens. I'm going to go Baltimore Ravens. I think the typical Ravens show up. They're a good regular season team until they
early season powerhouse that they are. Yeah.
And I just think Houston with a rookie quarterback, a lot of young guys, I think there's going to be a lot of growing pains this year for them. But eventually I think that team will come together, especially with D'Amico Ryans. Holy fuck, is he jacked?
Big. He looks big. He's a big dude. Okay. I'm looking at some of these games. I'm like, that looks good. This looks good. That looks good. Maybe. I don't know. I got to tell you what, though. I think personally, and I know in the NFL, 7 points is usually a big line. Again, I think this is a team that is going to break out, and I think this other team is a team that is just. I don't think the players are tanking. I don't think the players are trying to lose, but the front office has put the players that are on the team in a very bad situation, and the coach that's there in a bad situation. And if you saw his motivational speech that he gave there in Arizona, man, it's going to be a long year there in Glendale.
It is.
The Washington football team of Redskin Commanders, they are 7-point favorites over the Arizona Cardinals. They are playing in Washington. Take Washington and the points. I would look at maybe even doing alternate points and see if you can get some more money out of that, because I think that's a blowout. I think it's a blowout, and I don't think that game's even close. Sam Howell looks good. That Washington team looks like they're ready to kind of bust out. I think they're going to have a good year. Are they going to be great? Are they going to be a playoff team? I don't know, but they're going to be a lot better than they've been the last couple of years. They're kind of out from under the shadow of Dan Snyder. The fans feel better. The fans are going to pack that fucking rusting shithole of a stadium where poop falls on you. It's just poop everywhere, and it's just raining poop. But even if it's raining poop, they're going to be happy because I think the Commanders are very good. So the Washington football team of Redskin Commanders, 7 points. Cardinals, I say book it. Actually, don't book it because you'll probably lose to this. As we said, entertainment purposes only. Don't listen to us. But Washington, 7 points. That's what I'm taking for my second game. Jimbo, what do you got for game number 3?
So I was going to pick that game, but I'm going to save that for our YouTube channel pick. So make sure you guys head over to Stay Tuned Sports for that one. I'm going to go with the Green Bay Packers Chicago Bear game. Packers are a 1.5 point underdog. I'm going to say Jordan Love is going to play a lot better than what people think, and I think Green Bay is going to win. I think they're going to upset the Bears.
I can see that. And again, 1.5, that seems hard as an upset. It's very close.
Yeah, as soon as it came out of my mouth, I was like, yeah, is it really an upset?
I kind of agree with you on that a little bit when it comes to, I think Jordan Love is going to be a better quarterback than people think he is. And as good as Justin Fields is, have the Bears gotten a lot better? I don't think so. So we'll see. But I think that's a good pick from you. I honestly do. I honestly do think that's a good pick. Okay, and for my third one here, this is another one I think where the point spread is a little too low. And this one is going to be the Philadelphia Eagles at the New England Patriots. Eagles starting off on the road. Eagles favored by 4 on the road. So, again, that's a lot more because home teams automatically get the 3 points anyway. So, Eagles kind of favorites here, but I still think on the road against the Patriots team that doesn't really strike fear into me, or I think to anybody. And you have this Eagle team coming off a very close Super Bowl loss. You have Jalen Hurts, or Jalen Hulu Has Life Sports, whatever his name is now. If you've seen those fucking commercials. That Eagles defense is enough to scare me. They're going to... 4 points is too low.
Yeah.
4 points is too low. So, again, I think I would take the Eagles with the 4 points. They were minus 210 outright, so you're not going to be making a lot of money like that if you do outright. But it's minus 115 with the points, taking the points. But get Eagles minus 4. I think you got to take that because there's no way the Eagles lose in New England, right? No way, and there's no way they lose. There's no way they only win by like 3 anyway. They're winning by a touchdown or more, right? They have to. They have to.
But they're also Tom Brady retiring his number, I think it is, that night.
Are they doing that? Is that the game they're doing? I thought they were doing it later on. They're doing it during the Eagles game, during the afternoon.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Well, it's a 4:30 game. It's not a 1 o'clock game.
No, but it's still a 4 o'clock game. The sun's still out. I figured you might do a prime time game with it or something, but I don't know. I guess. But here's the other thing too. They might be retiring Tom Brady's number, and he might be there. But as the old saying goes, Tom Brady ain't walking through them doors. So yeah, give me the Eagles. And then again, this might be a case where I'm looking at an alternate spread and see if I can make a little bit more money off that because I think the Eagles are winning that game by more than 4, and I think comfortably more than 4. Again, we are going to be doing all 16 games over on our YouTube channel. So if you want to go ahead and take a look at that, we will be posting that shortly. after this podcast goes up. So once you hear us and listen to us on here, you'll see our stuff over there. It'll be great. It'll be wonderful. You'll love it. And as we said, entertainment purposes only. And don't blame us if you go bankrupt. It's not our fault. We told you not to. We told you not to.
Unless you guys win and you want to kick us back a little. Well, more King because he needs a new computer. Make sure you head over to buymeacoffee.com/stsports.
You if you listen to our picks and we have some good ones, like and you happen to make a little bit of scratch, send a little bit of, let us wet our beak a little bit, as it were, over there at buymeacoffee.com. Stay tuned, sports, and that'll be nice. Thank you very much. That'll be great, wonderful. So I mean, outside of that,
football's back.
Football, dude, we made it. We made it. It's here. That's all. Anyway, see, I'm doing my ASMR voice now. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, long national nightmare that we've had of only dealing with baseball or the Women's World Cup or the International Cricket Championships. It's all over. You don't have to worry about it. You don't have to watch random ass sports over on ESPN or ESPN Plus. I know I got lost in watching some cornhole and pickleball as the summer went on, We all do what we have to do at times like those in the summer when there's really nothing on, but here we are now at football time.
Woohoo!
It's football season. The temperatures may still be a little warm, but soon they'll be gone. Nice cooler temperatures. Falling leaves, pumpkin spice filling your coffee, and in Jimbo's case, his beer. But it doesn't matter because we've made it. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to football season.
So, till next week, this is your good friend Jimbo.
And it's the new voice of NFL Films, King.
We're out.
That'd be cool. I'm like John Facenda now.